In this two-part series, we're talking about what does it mean to be a lady and why does it matter. So stay tuned to Wonderful Life. I'm Mary Ditman. I'm an award-winning business professor on the collegiate level and the creator of College on Fleek and One-Derful Life. Wonderful Life is my way of describing how it feels when you've made peace with being single. I know there are plenty of women out there who prefer singleness and they don't want a man, but I've never felt that way. I've always wanted to be married and have a family, but I'm well over 40 and that hasn't worked out for me, and it's always been a source of sadness for me because a big part of my definition of a fulfilled life includes being a wife and a mother. But I realized the singleness didn't seem to be changing, and it might not change, and I just want to be happy. And I realized I needed to make peace with being single. A wonderful life doesn't mean that you give up and resign yourself like, well, I guess I'll just be alone forever and make the best of it. And it's not about getting to a place where you hate men or you don't want a man because I want a man, but it's about creating a life that you are happy and excited about, because that's what will attract your Mr. Right. But if he never shows up, you're happy anyway. Now, in this episode and the next episode, we're going to talk about what does it mean to be a lady and why would it even matter? Now, I understand times are changing. I'm kind of old-fashioned, but I think that being a lady really never goes out of style. Although you wouldn't really know that, because when you look at a lot of our celebrities and influencers today, like in the media or, Instagram or whatever, there's F-bombs and half-nude photos and, attacking each other and, a bunch of shade and negativity. But those aren't the type of women that I want to emulate. I look at people like Audrey Hepburn and Carolyn Bessette Kennedy when she was alive, Jacqueline Bouvier Kennedy Onassis, or even modern day ladies like Queen Letizia of Spain or Kate Middleton or Amal Clooney. To me, those are women that I want to emulate. Now, when you're a lady, it doesn't mean that you drink your tea with your pinky finger out or you're dropping your handkerchief. I mean, a lady isn't weak. A lady is someone who's strong and she's kind and she's respectful and she inspires others. She's not weak. She uses her brain. I mean, look at Amal Clooney. She's strong and she uses her brain and she takes on very challenging and sometimes dangerous human rights cases. Ladies aren't helpless. They don't need to be rescued. I mean, look at Kate Middleton. Look at Queen Letizia of Spain. These are women who help others. They don't need to be rescued. They're not some damsel in distress. They're out there rescuing and helping other people. Ladies aren't just quiet and demure all the time, although I think a lot of very smart, powerful women know that sometimes less is more, and the less you say, the more powerful your words can be. Now, if you Google "be a lady," you're going to find a gazillion articles that come up. But I just want to share a few things that I think contribute to being a lady. Number one, a lady minds her manners. Somebody who's a lady isn't going to be drunk in public. She's not going to be in a screaming match with someone else. You're not going to hear her cursing someone out. She arrives on time. She smiles. She's gracious. She shows an interest in other people. She asks how you're doing and then she listens. She says please. She says thank you. She acknowledges when other people are kind and courteous. Number two, a lady watches her language. Okay, I struggle with this a lot. And one of my biggest character defects is if I'm upset or excited or really hungry, I tend to want to swear a lot, and I'm not proud of that. It's not a good thing. And I go through seasons where I really have my language under control, and then sometimes I just get lazy and that bad habit shows up again. And the first time I ever really thought about it, I was sitting across the table talking with a friend of mine, and she was just cursing up a storm. And for a moment I sat there and I thought, gosh, that just seems really unattractive coming out of her mouth because she's a very smart, successful woman. But my immediate next thought was, well, it probably doesn't sound any better coming out of mine either. And I'm an educated person, and I'm sure that I can find a better way to express myself other than what they're bleeping out on a Jerry Springer episode. Now, it used to be that I could say, well, don't say anything that you wouldn't say on television, but even those standards have lapsed quite a lot. I mean, you'll hear all kind of language on television now that you didn't used to hear 20 years ago. Now, I don't know how people are behind closed doors, but it's really hard for me to imagine that Kate Middleton, when she's at home with Prince William and the kids, that she's cursing people out. And for me, as someone who's single, I know that my language is important for me to pay attention to because men tend to view swearing in women as being very aggressive and masculine. And I know that's a double standard, but that's just the way that this is. And look, you can do what you want. We're in a free country. If you say, it doesn't bother me when people swear, no problem. It doesn't offend me when people swear. It offends me when I swear. Listen, sometimes a swear word is what you need to get your point across. And again, this isn't a moral judgment. I'm just saying for me, I don't think that swearing is attractive coming out of my mouth, and it's just something I struggle with. And when I look at my icons, Audrey Hepburn, Amal Clooney, Carolyn Bessette Kennedy, although she was rumored to have a terrible temper, Kate Middleton, I just can't imagine these women cursing anybody out. Although, like I said, Carolyn Bessette Kennedy, may she rest in peace, apparently did have quite a temper. Number 3, a lady moves with charm and elegance. I'm just amazed at the number of photos I see, like modeling photos or things in my news feed where it's really the thing for women to pose, whether they're modeling outfits or swimsuits or jewelry or I don't know what, lipstick, and they're sitting with their legs spread wide apart. I just think it's very unbecoming and unladylike. When I was growing up, my parents taught me from a very early age, because I'm girly, so I always wanted to wear a dress or I always wanted to wear a skirt. And my parents taught me from a very early age, even if I was wearing pants, but especially in a dress or a skirt, well, then when you're sitting down, you've got to make sure your skirt is not riding up and you keep your knees together. And even wearing pants or jeans, my parents raised me that you're gonna sit like a lady, and my mom does. I've never seen my mom just kind of flop down on the couch with her legs all, wide open. She just doesn't move like that. In fact, the ladies in the royal family aren't even allowed to sit with their legs crossed at the knees because for 2 reasons. Number one, when you're crossing and uncrossing, you can end up accidentally flashing someone and somebody might take a picture. But also when you sit with your legs crossed at the knees, one of your feet is probably going to fall asleep, so you're going to have to keep uncrossing your legs. But also you get like a red blotch on the back of one of your calves. So the royal ladies are taught you sit with your knees and your ankles together, maybe crossed at the ankles, and then you slant your legs to the side. It's called the Duchess slant. And look, I'm not saying that you have to walk like a beauty pageant contestant or a supermodel, but sometimes I've observed women who are just sort of like clomping down the hallway. You might need to practice maybe walking in heels so that you're not like pitched forward. These things take practice. It's not normal to basically try to walk on stilts, which is what heels are, but heels are very feminine and ladylike, so you might have to practice walking in them. Ladies don't just like throw themselves down into a chair. They don't just flop down. You're not going to see a lady kind of hoisting herself to get out of the car, like, opening the door and then like getting a grip on the car door or the roof of the car and sort of like pulling herself out of the car. When a lady is exiting a vehicle, she will turn, put both of her feet on the ground, and then lift up. Now, ideally, if you're in the car with a gentleman, you will sit there and wait for him to come around and open up your car door, or if you're somewhere where there's a valet, let them open your car door and they'll even assist you getting out of the car. And listen, exiting a vehicle gracefully takes practice. And you say, well, why does it even matter? And especially in this day and age where it's just kind of like, well, just do whatever you want to do, no one even cares. But I think it does matter because you feel better about yourself when you're conducting yourself as a lady would. And again, it's not about saying you can't be yourself or you can't have a good time, but it's just about raising your own personal standard. And that's the kind of thing that makes you special and makes your life more wonderful. Now, it is really hard to feel good about yourself if you're suffering with a broken heart. And if that's you, you might want to check out our ABCs of Healing. It's a free video where I walk you through how to recover from a broken heart. You can get that at bit.ly/ABCs of Healing. We'll give you immediate access to it. In our next episode, we'll finish our look at what does it mean to be a lady. Meanwhile, you might want to go to wonderfullife.com. That's where we post a new blog every Friday. You may want to join our newsletter list. And we have a lot of cute Wonderful Life merchandise there for you to check out. And we want to hear from you. What do you think about being a lady? Put that in the comments and let us know. And as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on Wonderful Life.